It's a clean pool. So we're getting back into Champ Select, Daniel Drakers. Let's see what we get.
Thank you, Martin, for letting me know. Here we are. Of course, bans have remained the same. Malzahar now added as well, but no Elise yet, no Lee Sin from what we talked about earlier.
Yeah, you gotta respect Fnatic for sticking to the same bans throughout almost the entire playoffs. Varus, Malzahar always getting removed.
I mean, it has worked for them in the past. Let's not forget, when Fnatic faced off against G2 Esports, was it not for some crucial failure in Game 2?
Yeah, of course.
They could have easily won that game. A single flash could have meant 2-0 into 3-0, and they could have been playing the finals.
So on the side of Misfits, Twitch Aurelion Soul, I actually like this a lot. Like this is part of the uniqueness of what Fnatic is drafting in their games and how difficult it is to play against some of these newer champions you don't normally face.
The more Misfits can channel and funnel Fnatic into what is considered the meta average style, the more advantageous the game will be for them. They obviously want to keep it as close to standard as they can, and that means you remove the biggest kind of, not cheesy, but just out there picks. Aurelion Soul, so different to play against. Twitch, so different to play against.
Now, Misfits can actually ban either Elise or Lee Sin and maybe bait it as a potential first pick for Fnatic, and then get like a Kennen or a Shen on the side of Misfits. Like those are some of the key picks we're looking at right now. They do ban the Shen. I'm expecting Kennen first pick from Fnatic then, and then Misfits needs to answer with their preferred jungler.
And we do see both the Lee Sin and the Elise open, so each side will get an option to take what they want. Seems like no pressure on the jungle pool quite yet.
Yeah, in situations where a lot of this overlap happens, like Lee Sin and Elise.
What?
Ooh.
Okay.
Broxah.
A little bit of a mix-up. We thought Lee Sin, we thought Elise, but here's the Ivern.
Theory is out of the window, never mind. No longer matters. Let's see what the Misfits answer with. Are they going to steal the Kennen? Because they've had limited success with it too. Like, it's not as been great as a pick for them.
But you can take it and give it to Alphari top lane, and he should be able to survive any lane against Soaz, who mainly is a tank player. So I think removing Kennen makes a lot of sense, unless Fnatic is looking to draft like this Tristana late game comp with Ivern already. Ivern was first picked. No one is first picking Ivern.
No one is first picking Ivern, and I think this is what the desk talked about. He said, hey, there's a chance. There's a chance that they're just going to have something completely new today, and I think that might just be the case on the side of Fnatic.
All right, we see Graves locked in as the answer, though. That's actually what sparked the resurgence of Graves in week 2 and 3 of the LCS. When Ivern was so meta and was so broken, kind of, Graves wasn't considered that great of a jungler. He came back because his fast clear speed was just so strong in that matchup.
See, and now I've heard some confident talk from Caps about facing LeBlanc, how he spent weeks practicing counters against LeBlanc, and this first rotation from Misfits, I think it's very meta, so we can't blame him for that one, but they have not looked very good with Graves as a jungler. They have looked good with Lee Sin and Elise.
Yeah.
But clearly, this week in scrims, it's been Graves, and it's been working for them, otherwise they would grab it here.
Or they're just so confident that even though their style may suffer with the Graves, the direct matchup Graves with the Ivern is so strong, and we've seen Fnatic have such a dependency on Broxah. If Broxah does well, Fnatic does well. If he doesn't gank, they start suffering. But their first opening 3 picks here for Fnatic. Surprise with Ivern, great.
Completely.
The comfort cannon on Rekkles always has been great, and then the LeBlanc versus Ryze matchup, a complete skill matchup where the edge goes to the Ryze, especially later on. Caps should triumph in that matchup.
Yeah, if you're Fnatic, if you're a Fnatic fan, like you are so happy right now, even with that Ivern first, because obviously that was something they had planned some time ago. Getting Kennen for Rekkles, getting counterpick for Caps in mid, it is huge for Fnatic because they are a team that relies on the bottom side of the map. And having that Ryze and Kennen makes them look very good.
All right, now we see this ban. First ban out is the Fizz for Misfits. They might be looking at a Rumble pickup maybe in just first rotation. If you ban out 2 strong champions, you pick the remaining Rumble. It's going to be hard for Soaz to find an answer. Or
Soaz is going to pick Gragas. Like then you need to take away the Gragas. It's been such a good pick for him. And if you want to then take that Rumble, I feel like you need to deny Soaz something up in the top lane, not just the Fizz.
And we heard Soaz talk about it at the start of the day. Hey, Alphari is a guy you have to respect on the top side of the map, an incredibly difficult player to play against. So maybe just taking a matchup like that, Gragas, looking to neutralize some of the pressure here. But now Camille taken off the table as well. Clear focus on the top side of the map.
Yeah, if they do not ban Gragas, I think there's a chance those Misfits can just pick it. Like, it is really good to have some strong engage from Misfits, tank presence as well, against things like, you know, Kennen in the back line, who does really well if he can hit multiple targets, but he can't if there's a big tank in front of him. That being said, Misfits have not really excelled when they play tanks top lanes, and that does put it towards the Rumble.
Now Fnatic are removing the carry champs from Misfits here to not let them snowball in the early game and close with their style and hopefully fall behind a bit. IgNar being behind the Thresh here. The Camille, which was such a great pick for Fnatic, they no longer need it. They say, you know what, there will be a support preferentially range that we can play. He whipped out the Karma, the Annie, so there's plenty of range still for Jesiz.
Have to see what he opts for, but it looks like it will be the Rumble coming in, confirmed now for Alphari on the top side, and will Soaz look to neutralize the matchup, take a tank, or take something strong of his own?
And that's the thing, with Fizz being removed, there are still other picks. You can go Kled, you can go Gnar if you want to try and win the side lane later, but Gragas is the safest choice. And the champion Soaz actually looked really good on in the semi-final against G2.
He has some excellent teleports and E-flash engages, so that's why we will expect the Gragas to come out here. I think it's too much variance. We've seen the cut before, but Fnatic as a team wasn't communicating well to implement it here, so it's a much sturdier pick and ban phase if they go for the Gragas. If this actually gets locked in, it's very interesting, because Soraka pairs incredibly well with both Ryze, a tanky front laner, the shields from Ivern, so this actually is a pretty coherent composition.
Baiting us in the end, though, will be the Karma
Baiting us
lock.
into meta? What's happening?
I mean, it's quite similar. The same concepts still apply for Karma, just to a different degree.
Have the Kennen, who might need a little more support in those team fights, and he's going to get it. The Ivern, the Karma, so many shields, as you mentioned. Now it's on Caps and Rekkles to provide the damage in this game. But Misfits, they're looking for a little playmaking on the bottom side of the map, and they're going to opt for that Nautilus in the hands of IgNar.
We actually see this quite often in Europe. People counterpick Karma with the Nautilus support, and then they run like this double engaged CC lane. So if Karma and her lane are just pushing, you get to level 6, and then you're instantly just going to die to a game.
Yeah, it really means that Fnatic have to either get a very large deficit knocked into the Misfits bot lane, or swap away at level 6, because this lane, you can't push it and poke it under the turret, because if one hook comes out and that is a wide skill shot, it's so easy to land on Karma. Rekkles alone can no longer win that 1v2.
It is really fun to see, though, how Fnatic have stepped away from pure early game focus. Yes, they have some strong lanes here with Ryze. Of course, Gragas is a fine laner. But if you look at the mid game for Fnatic, like, that's not where they spike. Further late game with things like Ivern in there, the Ryze again getting the tier fully stacked up, that's when we start really seeing Fnatic hit a power spike.
It is actually the Misfits that spike in the mid game, you know, Rumble on 1 or 2 items around a dragon fight, you know, playing the snowball style. I think this is actually a great composition for the Misfits. If you see how they have been performing the best overall, they need to take control of the early, snowball it with clear objective shot calling, and see if they can take the map.
Yeah, and we know Graves is a pick that works well against Ivern. Could explain why KaKAO decided to go for that one instead of some of his comfort picks, because you can literally just run into Ivern's jungle and you don't have to fear him at all.
Well, if you have faith in the Misfits composition, hashtag MSF win at LOL Esports on Twitter. Hashtag FNC win if you remain loyal to the side of Fnatic. But gentlemen, we are now getting ready and prepared. Closer ever to game 1. Ivern, a huge mix-up. No Lee Sin in the hands of Broxah. Clearly, both teams preparing something new for this matchup.
It's always exciting with the first game in an arena here. Third place game between these two teams. And first game is so important.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Just about ready, just about time, and here we go. It is game 1. Fnatic versus Misfits. Both teams ready, both teams eager. Skies, bird's eye view of the Rift. We'll have to see, gentlemen. We've seen some unconventional level 1s coming in from Fnatic, and already it looks like we're poised and ready to see some action here.
Soaz's body slam was on cooldown because he just jumped over that wall. He's sneaking in to the jungle of Misfits. They like to do this on the side of Fnatic with the Gragas. Did not manage to find anyone, though, and it looks like everyone goes back, and we might get a standard level 1.
Kind of poking and prodding at each other. You see Misfits dropping a ward on the top side, maybe hoping to spot a lane swap. Fnatic trading it for some vision of the blue, so both sides will have a little more information entering the early stages of the game.
A single deep ward and process of elimination, especially against a very obvious clearing jungle like Graves. He can vary it up, but his merit is in its efficiency, usually.
When you play against Ivern, that's where we start seeing like different jungle paths.
That's true.
So often. KaKAO is not starting his own Raptors. Where are you going, my little friend?
I think a ward over the wall.
No, dashes.
Oh.
He's going to take away this red. So Ivern will most of the time start Raptors into then his own red buff.
No, he's enchanting this.
Don't worry, he steps away.
Walk away.
And he's clearing.
Oh,
Yes,
it's the long con.
Oh, that is a cool start from KaKAO. So again, Ivern loves to do Raptor into his red buff and then go over and clear his other side of the jungle.
And this is an E start on KaKAO. It's incredibly slow. Obviously very sustaining. Graves does not take damage. You know,
nice champion.
that corruption potion he has in there, that's just like for aesthetics, you know? It's like the equivalent of bathroom decorative towels. You don't actually use them. We'll need to see when Broxah actually finds this out, because this could actually hit the early game plan that Fnatic have put together. Teams prepare so well for game 1, and this may throw them a...
And this is so devastating to an Ivern. He needs that smite if he wants to instant clear camps. He has to prep them if he wants to get anything. And Broxah is going to walk in, find that there's nothing there.
Oh, is he going to find him?
KaKAO!
Can force a flash, maybe?
Moving forward,
He waits. Obviously, you cannot contest Ivern on camps. He's not fighting them. He's just hugging them.
Well, if he doesn't have smite, you can, obviously, but let's see, mid lane, here's a gank.
Cardinal moving forward, red buff ticking. Caps seems to be fine for now, but walking forward, flash to safety.
KaKAO is here to play. Like, what a start from him. Picking the Graves, he knows he can invade Ivern early. He doesn't have to really fear a potential 1v1. Good gank as well against Caps, he's forcing a flash. Misfits with that strong laning start, they often need to win games.
Yeah, Ivern clears in 2 bursts. The initial setup where he spikes to like level 3 and 4, then he has to set up again, and he slows down a lot. And then the second clear is another burst. If you can mess up either of them on Graves and then go back to your own jungle, you can really outpace the enemy jungler and get a level advantage and then show up in the lane level 6 to make that crucial gank.
And this is the type of early proactive play we love to see from KaKAO. Usually it's the Lee Sin, usually it's setting up the lanes for success, but this time he's taking down the enemy jungler, limiting what Broxah is going to be able to do on the map.
And it's still such a big surprise. We get a first pick Ivern. Now, it is a pick that has been used a lot over in LPL in China. We don't see other regions really pick it that often. A random ban here and there, and that's about it. But again, it was first pick here. Clearly, Fnatic must have expected Misfits to look for the same. But it's such a different pick for Broxah, different style. It's not the Elise Lee Sin we normally see him dominate on. He's looking for a top lane gank, and Misfits are looking for a bot lane gank.
Yeah, they translate that early gank objective. They free up PowerOfEvil, and he's showing up bot, attacking the bot lane from Fnatic.
Looks going down, double exhaust, traded back and forth, but here comes Power looking for a little bit more. Shade goes wide! No, that's not what you wanted. Moving in. Fnatic gonna recover nicely, but now Alphari, he's the man in trouble. Broxah slapping down, dodges out the root collar, clean sidesteps.
No flash on Soaz, that's already been used. Alphari, if he escapes the next
Trigger seed, Alphari definitely triggered after that. First blood drops for Fnatic.
Misfits were so close in the bottom lane, but they missed crucial skill shots in the end.
Yeah. Jesiz there channeling his inner Orianna. Chains and whiffs, they excite him very much so because he escapes the claws of death right there. He should have just died. That was a beautiful rotation from Graves and LeBlanc.
Well, moving for a bit more.
It is game 1 as well. Like, it is game 1, PowerOfEvil with some nerfs. It is perfectly acceptable, but that's the kind of play you want to pull off. So Alphari went down top lane. We just talked about how Broxah is not on the same kind of jungler we normally see. But he looks for skirmishers, he's super active early on. But pulling off that first gank on Ivern is great. Now he wants to just scale, get to his level 6, get Daisy.
Not too much of a difference, though, between the gold on both sides. Only 300 difference. The top lane, Soaz all about the early game. Triple Doran's coming out, whereas Alphari having to build a lot more conservatively here in the early laning phase with the Negatron Cloak.
Soaz, what can he do here? Can he fight back? Another fight in the bot lane. This Nautilus is hyper-aggressive. Ansama's here, but KaKAO is here again. Jesiz, no summoners.
Definitely caught out. KaKAO just going to walk this one down, pick it up. Nice kill for Misfits.
It's good to see Misfits here really be active early on, because they know that's how they can beat Fnatic.
Again, they're running this mid-game composition, and for that to work, you need to spike early, get a few kills, and then start snowballing. And they're also attacking the weak point for Fnatic. Fnatic have so many times relied on their bot lane to carry, picking these niche picks, you know, locking Rekkles on the map, allowing him to play that side lane pressure with the Kennen, and they're now being put at a deficit.
It's what we talked about in Champ Select, how this Ashe Nautilus lane, it's so easy to force like a play, set up a gank. You have so much CC between these two champions. And it worked twice now against Karma, who obviously doesn't really have any dash or anything to really get away. He can buffer movement speed, but that's not going to be enough.
And we look at the potential all-in on the bottom side if we see a 3v3. If Ivern makes the way down there, and you got 2 huge damage dealers, and all Jesiz and Broxah right now can do is provide shields for Rekkles, and he just doesn't have the items to dish out the damage necessary to win those early fights.
So at the same time, Fnatic can't really lane swap right now because top lane is getting pushed in by Alphari over and over.
Yeah, and if you want to get that lane swap, you want to join a pushing top laner so you can get access to the turret. Otherwise, especially when you play versus a Rumble, he's going to hit level 6, use Equalizer for another wave, and you will lose the turret race.
Yeah, you want the pusher, you want a champion that can sneak in and maybe gank, but there's no Twitch. It was obviously banned away by Misfits. Much harder as a Kennen who just shows up in the lane. Rekkles will get 6 fairly soon. We have no 6 from Broxah. He's only level 4 now. He's down in experience to the KaKAO with this great start. And Misfits, their composition is only going to get better the next few minutes.
And very quickly approaching level 6 in the Misfits bottom lane. The Ashe, the Nautilus, the options for engage coming through, as well as all summoner spells up and available.
And that's a key point, Rekkles, because if Fnatic choose to fight them, they can still go for the double flash heal out. With the wealth of CC effects that they have, it's going to be very hard for Fnatic to find a big lead from the bottom lane, which means Broxah has to shift his focus. But that top lane, despite a gank, is already suffering. Oh, Alphari!
Moving forward, tower aggro. Not going to take too much damage here, though. Happy to just try and turn it around. Soaz biting off a bit more than he could chew, but here comes Broxah, level 6. Where is Daisy? Root Caller goes in, goes wide. Trigger Seed going to connect the snow. In goes Daisy. Down comes the Equalizer, but Alphari, he looks like he's caught between a rock and a hard place because there is no option out, and that's going to be another kill for Soaz.
Second time, Broxah pulls off a gank top lane. It does mean that Fnatic's bottom lane needs to just back away. Kind of giving up this wave here, so they're fighting each other for this first tower.
Yeah, this is the most annoying part of playing versus Graves. This guy will not gank you, he will just group with his laners, poke you out, make you move away from the turret, and that's exactly what is happening to Fnatic on the bottom side of the map right there. That turret has already disappeared.
All too easy for the Graves, the Ashe, the Nautilus. You got Daisy, you got Ivern, you got a Gragas on the top side. It does not compare, and that's going to move in the favor of Misfits despite the kill for Fnatic.
Still though, we get to see a good start from the top side of Fnatic, which is actually normally the side where they don't get the big advantages early on. It's so often about Rekkles and Jesiz and Broxah being on that side of the map, but it's now 2 kills for Soaz on this Gragas here. A pick where if he is able to roam, he's super creative on like showing up in a lane, set up a gank. We saw it against G2, he was visiting perks in the mid lane like over and over.
Yeah. He's also very proactive with his teleports. Like he reads the game well in that regard.
Good skill to have. Now we keep our eyes on PowerOfEvil. Only double Doran's under his belt. The Ryze happy to keep stalling. He keeps scaling up, stacking that tier, and Caps with double buff. Something that you have to respect, but PoE has been on a tear throughout the entirety of playoffs. So while he took a risky matchup with the blind pick on the LeBlanc, we cannot forget that this guy has been playing insanely well in the last few series.
PowerOfEvil was the main reason for why Misfits managed to reverse sweep Splice, get into the semifinal in the first place.
But he was also allowed to snowball with an advantage and then influence the other lanes like that. You know, he needs some help, but this game, KaKAO really made an early dent in Broxah's game plan. This guy, he's showing up to a stadium event, he picks Ivern, he has his dream clear in his head, and then he's planning out his next move. Oh, I'm gonna go top lane, I'm gonna go bot lane. He walks back into his jungle, and he's like, oh, it's gone.
Such a clever start for KaKAO, and it has paid off, but only a single kill under his belt from the bottom side of the map. Broxah, despite the rough early start, still making things happen on the top side of the map.
Oh,
Alphari.
round 3.
Now running back.
At this point, he has to be enjoying it, because
dodging out, sidestep, still caught out. Alphari, he's in trouble. Not a lot left to do, trying desperately to find the 2v1, but it's the trigger seed, it's the belly pop, it's everything on the side of Fnatic, and that's the killing spree for Soaz.
Alphari is definitely triggered right now, overextending. Every time he even dares to push a lane, enemy jungle shows up. And for that to happen, it means that you don't have enough pressure in the other side of the map.
Again, it's just so interesting, Fnatic putting so much focus on the Rumble. Now, obviously, that is one of the problems with Rumble. It is very hard to get away from CC. Like, you're not going to jump away from anything. You just have to take the fight. And you obviously can't win in 2v1, but his team is getting something on the other side.
Yeah, at the same time, you have to read the map, but sometimes you have to think, what could my opponents do? If Alphari glances to the bottom lane, he sees Rekkles and Jesiz hugging their turret. He sees the Ryze pretty close to his turret, so then he has to start guessing. I wonder where Broxah is going to gank. Well, guess what? It's going to be top lane again.
I think at this point, he's just like, there's no way he's going to continue going top lane. Like, I'm 0-3. I don't even give that much gold. Now, Misfits, they're looking for a play mid lane. Remember, there's cleanse on Caps.
PowerOfEvil leaps forward. There goes the Ashe for Hansama. Caps does just cleanse out, looking to walk away, but in they go. Depth charge comes out. IgNar looking to lock him up. Blast Cone, is he going to get it? Yeah, Caps. Fancy footwork to make it out.
And a very costly mistake there by IgNar, missing the flash hook, just allowing Caps to escape. He's now down 2 summers, but the reaction is bot lane play from Fnatic.
It is Misfits trying to respond to Rekkles and Jesiz pushing the bot lane with Daisy to say, no, let's force something mid lane, see if we can trade a tower. But with, of course, Soaz being there, very strong Gragas at this point, already fully completed Spirit Visage, he might be able to at least delay Misfits a bit.
Obviously, a reaction to that play is the top lane where Alphari is hitting that turret. So we see all these events tied together. You know, pressure leaves in one area.
Look at this.
React somewhere else.
Caps coming in. No, it's Broxah. Surprise delivery of the jungler. Now moving forward, Squire's Bloom is there, but where is the Blast Cone? Can PoE take it to safety? Looks like the answer is yes, but there's Caps over the wall. Can he get it?
Oh! He was spotted on the board! Deep vision from Misfits placed earlier.
Oh, power!
Oh, he's out!
Can he get executed? Can he get it?
No, he's hit recently. He has to wait a long time.
Yeah,
He's going on a mission.
Is he going to leap back?
He needs just one tower
Where are you
hit.
going, Power?
Or minions.
Minions.
Jump to the tower.
Buying as much time as he can. Oh! Gives it over to Broxah in the end. So close. What a beautiful play from Power despite that.
Oh, yeah, I call it worth it, man. Yeah, you give one kill to the Ivern, but you get a kill on LeBlanc yourself. You need to snowball against this Ryze here if you are PowerOfEvil. So getting that one kill. Oh, man, Caps did not expect the ward to be there.
Of course not. Like, but that's what you have to read sometimes too. You know, they've been pressured in the bottom side. Misfits, the entire game, have been focusing their attention on the bottom side of the map. That is why Alphari was prone to gang pressure from Broxah. And obviously that leaves you with deep wards to set up that play.
Now this one kill here for Broxah, the 3 assists he's been getting, 2 towers as well for Fnatic, does mean we get very quickly towards Redemption, Locket, everyone's favorite items. Because it means people stop dying. And suddenly we get these great team fights where no one will die for some time. Flash in, but probably missing the chain again.
So that's 2 times in a row. You have to wonder if it may for further aggression. You know, sometimes it may get into your head. Here only Broxah arrives. And we've seen how the rest plays out here. I do like the accelerated gold in games like this, especially when you play with like Rumble, LeBlanc comps, because it makes for very interesting second dragon fights.
Oh, that little play. Caps spotted, obviously. See, Fnatic was in the jungle of Misfits. Very risky play, because if you guys look at the minimap, Rekkles is bottom lane, and that's one of the problems when you want to play split pushing AD carry, which is what Rekkles likes to do, is you're stuck down there, and then it's suddenly much more about mid laners fighting each other. See a solo kill, obviously, from before. There's another one for PowerOfEvil, who's been getting quite a lot this split.
Of course, you see the regular season much more in favor of Cass with playoffs coming up big. That's the 9th solo kill now for PowerOfEvil, and it's looking good for him in the mid lane.
And the Misfits, they want to answer this split push from Fnatic by engaging in the middle lane. For Fnatic, ideally, they find a pick on the bottom lane and then rotate to that tier 2 turret. But now that the arrow goes wide, this opens up a window of opportunity for Fnatic to maybe play the map themselves.
Looking around, Rekkles has the bottom wave pushing. Vision starting to get cleared out. Fnatic looking to take control, at least for now.
Yeah, and now we see the value of pushing lanes as well. As this bottom lane pushes in, it forces PowerOfEvil to go catch, which then unlocks Rekkles to join his team, and now they are the ones with potentially 5 people in the mid lane. But instead they're going for a 4-1, playing more towards the top side.
And this is where I love Graves so much as a jungler, because he adds wave player to your team. Like, you don't need to rely on the Ashe here, you don't need to rumble ulti, because KaKAO just sits there, Qs it, and if he needs more, he can ulti it as well. And then the wave is gone, stops Fnatic from getting a tower, and allows Misfits now to push out, and they actually start getting that opening where it's now Misfits who can make a play on the Fnatic tower.
Misfits playing 4-1 bot side, that bot lane has been pushed in. PowerOfEvil is leaving it neutral though. It's going to be slowly pushing out.
Let's see if Soaz can find a ward behind Misfits. There is one where Alphari is now. They're actually pinging in near the Raptor camp, but everyone backs away. It becomes a reset. That's one of the important things in League of Legends. Is when you have to push, you don't always have to 5-man that tower. You can sometimes just use it to recall, get wards, get your items, and then go back out on the map without losing anything.
Wow, Misfits, they are losing a little bit of farm in the side lanes when they don't push them out all the way. Obviously, you want to push them as far as you safely can, because otherwise they will slowly push against your opponents. They wait for it to stack into a big wave. They cash in like 30 seconds, 5 minion waves at once, whereas you has just been bleeding 1 or 2 minion waves every single time.
And that's why Misfits needs to be able to execute on the engages. Like, you need to accept that against a split push composition, you will have to surrender the sides from time to time. But hopefully your composition or your team is then better 5v5. So when you engage, you can actually win those. That's how you get your goal. That's how you get your advantage.
Yeah, we can track what their game plan is right now. We see IgNar moving into the enemy jungle to place some deep wards. Obviously, the more wards are placed in the enemy jungle right now, the more it allows PowerOfEvil to play aggressive on the bottom lane, because he doesn't want to be surprised. And if you don't have a ward, you can always send in the jungler.
That's what they're doing right now. Brave's always good at invading in. PowerOfEvil not running teleport in this game, something we didn't actually mention much earlier. Wants a bit more kill pressure for himself to see if he can actually maybe get a kill 1v1 against Caps or against whoever he's facing in the side lane. It's not going to be Soaz, but top lane, of course, Rekkles is split pushing.
The surprise push forward, the vision control in their favor. Alphari may have to give up the equalizer to clear this wave out, but the rest of Misfits is moving up. Maybe they're hoping to find the collapse. You talk about PowerOfEvil, now is a good time to look for a fight. Level 11, Gunblade completed, Ignite up and available. He's not going to get much stronger than this.
We want to see some fights as well in this game here. Like when you get a Fnatic game, you expect a lot of skirmishes, a lot of 1v1s, 2v2s, constantly happening around the map. And Rekkles, of course, trying to gank people on these AD carries here. But this game, 17 minutes in, 6 kills only. Might see something in mid.
Power goes in. Gunblade triggers. Caps looking to get out, but he's instantly locked up. There's the ignite, but here comes the redemption. He's still going to live. Broxah comes in with the save.
Always important to highlight with this cleanse here that once you use it to get rid of CC, it does give you extra reduction for the next CC that lands onto you. Now, Soaz might get caught.
Locked up, chains go in, depth charge coming out. KaKAO, is he going to go forward for more? Smoke screen to buy a bit of time, but Broxah just denying all these picks.
Yeah, and this entire sequence of events has been a reaction from the Misfits playing around the bottom side of the map. They see Karma and Kennen in the top lane, which means if they move around mid lane and bot lane, they can only face 3 enemies. So they can take a dragon, they can go for an aggressive play, and they can make something happen because Alphari held top lane 1v2.
IgNar, though, finds an engage very quickly. Hansama using the Blade of the Rune King. They're pushing for more. Hunter's Focus comes out. Not going to be enough. There's the Equalizer. Still can't find it, but Alphari, exhausted and hungry for more. Blue Collar buys a bit of time. They're leaping in PowerOfEvil. Meanwhile, off to the side. Will they be able to find a way in? Caps is coming as well. Will we see the 5v5? IgNar once again finds a way in. Broxah looking for a little bit more, taking his time to run out. Has to flash to safety. Misfits with the advantage, but no one's going to die.
And we have not seen Fnatic play a composition where they need to kite back. All playoffs, it's always been Fnatic engaging, running forward, trying to flank people left and right. But with this Ivern pick, it just changes the way they have to play the game. They need to respect the engage from Misfits, step away, get that Rumble ulti out of the way, and then look to maybe re-engage on one target alone. They're not going to just AoE down this Misfits lineup. So it's very different late game we get from Fnatic. So far, they're doing fine with it.
Yeah, just because we've seen Fnatic play some of these niche picks that can surprise people, doesn't mean they have to play super aggressive, go for all these kind of weird plays in the early game. They're fine letting Ryze scale right now. If they do not lose too many turrets on the map, Caps will become nigh unkillable. With a cleanse built in, the shields from Ivern and Karma, if they make one misstep, this guy can just solo carry the fights because there's 4 squishies on the side of Misfits.
You're going to have that Kennen pushing in the side lane as well. So much to deal with for Misfits. They need to be confident when they look to pick these plays because we've already seen those picks not easy to pull off. And if it's a full 5v5 and you misstep and you fail to kill that one crucial member, Caps or Rekkles, everything can just fall apart for your team.
You know, your Ivern's been active when he's done more damage than your bottom lane in a game like this. Broxah actually done a great job after falling behind early, just executing ganks on Alphari top lane left and right.
And for a rookie, that's very impressive. Not only did he have to come into an already kind of broken Fnatic, like any mid-season
he was supposed to be one of the fixes.
Yeah, he was supposed to be a solution in a very like broken team that came in with so much promise and presence, right? Like the 5 European guys, they were announced in a bunker. There was so much hype, but suddenly it didn't go well for Fnatic. Then this Broxah guy shows up and he has to improve the team. He gets cheesed on stage on his first big arena game and he recovers. Impressive.
And not just, I mean, just such a surprising clear from KaKAO as well. No hesitation in him as he adapted. Instantly turns his attention to the top lane. Not something we frequently see from Fnatic. We expected it to be all about the bottom side. So the adjustments coming in here are impressive from such a young player. But now, Misfits, they're starting to take vision control. They're starting to get control over this top side of the map. And Fnatic are going to have to respect this.
This is where Misfits normally do really well when it comes to setting up around that mid lane. Try and get that full vision control and then look for the fight. We again look at Hansama with the arrows.
Yeah, always push your mid lane first. That is the standard play.
See, they're gonna get for mid lane tower to get Caps.
Forward, Caps Redemption's already down, but that's a lot of damage. He's gonna go down. Power's gonna grab the kill in the end. Tower drops as well. It's a good start for Misfits, but do Fnatic want to keep the fight?
It's the same thing again here where Rekkles, if you look at your minimap, guys, he's down towards the bottom side. So Misfits, they know we just need to run mid lane because we have 4v5. We can just engage. Now Rekkles is here.
Moving forward, Belly Bop knocks it back. IgNar now in trouble. Rekkles is in the back, but he's immediately exhausted. Jesiz in trouble as well. Soaz, there's no damage coming in from the side of Fnatic.
Yeah, there's only one damage dealer in that fight. His name is Rekkles because Caps is already dead.
Soaz running, trying to use the body slam to make it to safety. Misfits chasing him down. No hesitation from PowerOfEvil. Leaping forward. Where are the chains? Leaps back. Doesn't have the cooldown, and Fnatic are going to walk away.
Yeah, and the Misfits, they come with the answer to the 1-3-1. If you get greedy as a team and you start 1-3-1ing with pushed lanes, obviously it leaves your mid lane so weak in a 5v3 duel. And we saw Fnatic falter in this exact concept when they were the ones 5 versus G2 with the 3 members in the past. Beautifully broken down by Jat as well. Yeah, it's such a greedy play to defend that turret and expecting to hold.
I mean, this is what, we knew would happen after some weeks of watching their split push AD carry style from Fnatic. Now, I'm not saying it can't work, because of course they've won a lot of games. It's actually been very successful for them, and they are still doing fine in this game. But people are just figuring out the answer.
And then Fnatic need to adapt too, and if you want to make that play work, you gotta move more into a 4-1. You gotta bring Soaz to the mid lane, and he becomes the same thing that KaKAO did for Misfits earlier. He becomes a wave clear, and then Rekkles can put the side lane on pressure.
Or it becomes a situation where you have your AD carry with caps and so on first. You push out mid, and then you send Rekkles down to a side lane when there's no chance of Misfits just grouping mid lane on you, because you can see here, Misfits are just waiting for this wave to come in, and then I believe this replay is not really a replay. That's a replay.
There you go.
I was like, yeah, I was pretty sure they had a wave they pushed in with, but of course, we saw some action.
Good to see, and so close to being disastrous for Fnatic as they continue to push for more, but doesn't fall apart past the first kill. And as you said, Rekkles not pushing too far into the bottom side. Misfits were hunting him, and now we see the map reset.
Always good to see a map reset, because then you can start judging the synergies, the liberties that some people are taking with the Warcliff Soaz hiding right there, defending his vision, for example. Fnatic right now, very condensed, so now they're doing the right thing. They want mid lane pressure first. Let's see where they go from here.
Looks like they may just be looking to make a play under this tier 1 tower, but there's the wave clear from KaKAO, denying any potential engage.
Yeah, now they're going for a fight, actually.
IgNar, Cap's gonna get knocked up. There's the redemption once again. In comes Daisy trying to block the damage, but down goes the equalizer. Soaz is all alone on the backside. He may just be the sacrificial lamb. IgNar going to drop Soaz. Can he make it to safety? So many shields coming out. He's still alive. Misfits are the one who lose the trade.
Oh, the call here from Misfits were simple. Flash engage with Nautilus and land the arrow from Hansama. But the arrow went the wrong way. He shot it behind him. Happened again. Like, it's a rookie on the stage for the first time. Nerves in game 1. Makes a lot of sense.
I mean, we've all had it happen. You wake up, it's early in the morning, walk to the toilet. Sometimes
you miss the arrow.
And it goes all over the wall, and you have to clean it up. And that's exactly what happened to Hansama right here.
Man, you have problems, man. You have some serious problems.
Fnatic, though, of course, in the end, the ones to clean it up, the ones to grab the Cloud Dragon. As you look back on this, you can just see where it fell apart.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah, that explains everything. There's not much more to analyze here. Obviously, Gragas tanks a bit more than Nautilus at this point.
Yeah, so again, it was like hook that one guy, arrow him so he CC, then kill him. Call in itself was good for Misfits. Execution, sadly, didn't work for them. But they're starting this Baron here. Rekkles again was sitting bottom lane. So Misfits are trying to force fights when the Kennen is missing.
And it's even something you can do. I don't think Misfits had the intention to take that Nashor. They just say, hey, we're hitting it. We're now obliged to walk over, else we will win the ensuing fight that is 4v5. It's a great way to force somebody to walk to you. Just hit the Baron once, disengage. As long as you have a tank, you can do it.
Exactly. That's always the thing about Baron pressure, is it's so determined around like how fast can you kill it and who can tank it. If you don't have anyone who can actually tank the Baron, if you don't have a team that can kill it fast enough, there's not a whole lot of Baron pressure then.
Yeah, obviously. But if you usually, when you don't have anybody to tank for it, it means you're drafting more damage dealers, and it should be dying faster. Otherwise, you have major draft issues.
Yeah, and that's especially once you get to like 30 minutes, and like a bruiser like Graves kind of can just stand in front of it, still deal a ton of damage as well. Then you can really rush it down. But once again, we saw Fnatic group mid lane. They tried to siege. You don't siege on the Graves. No. It's not going to work for you. They need to just push in that wave, and then they can go to the side lanes. But they've actually been doing it the other way around. They push the side lane, go to mid, and then allow Misfits a 5-on-5.
For now, they're trying to regain control of that Baron pit. They did move up, deny some of the vision that Misfits had placed earlier. Now Misfits looking to take it back, this back and forth. Just both teams fighting for control of the pit, of this top side.
And we also see in terms of lane assignments, Alphari is itemized so efficiently against Soaz, Broxah, and Cass. But if he ever meets Rekkles, he is going to suffer with that build. So that's going to be the Misfits macro having to work in. If Alphari plays versus Rekkles on a side lane, he's going to lose, but he'll have teleport advantage. It'll be a very interesting situation then.
Yeah, then you should just force that Baron if you are Misfit. Now, someone looking for another arrow. It gets harder and harder once you missed a few of them. Yeah. But then you start kind of questioning yourself, and you don't want to keep missing that key ulti.
Well, while he pushes in the top side of the map, the TP comes in, and Fnatic are content to get something back. In goes Caps, lock up onto IgNar. Rekkles goes forward, but down comes the equalizer. Can Misfits turn this back? IgNar healed up, but in comes the redemption. Fnatic are looking good, but KaKAO, he's trying to dish out the damage, and things are just falling apart.
Yeah, they're falling apart because Alphari may go down as well.
Rekkles gets another one. Soaz tanks the tower, and Fnatic are in control.
Oh, they're getting out with that.
making it out to safety in the end. It's a good look for Fnatic. They get the 2-0, they get the tower as well, and now they're moving in for that Baron.
Yeah, and here we see the problem with that teleport ignite, trying to play it on the side lane.
Tower goes forward. Maybe looking for the outplay, but there's so much chain CC. In comes the Gragas. Did not want to dance with the fat man. Tries to leap out, tries to make it to safety. Red buff ticking, but PowerOfEvil is still fine and still alive.
Fnatic once again looking at that Baron here. Soaz can definitely tank it. Has enough armor under his belt. They also have the shields coming in from Karma and Ivern.
It's a pretty slow one for Fnatic, because only 2 damage dealers are really taking it down here, so the Misfits have some time, but can they reach enough members to make it there? It's also in a brush, which is really annoying.
Ticking down, 2K, KaKAO looking for a way over the wall, moves forward, not gonna get it in the end, outsmited by Broxah as Fnatic take the first Baron of the game.
Close in the end here. Soaz wanted to jump out and just interrupt a potential dash from KaKAO, stop him from getting into the Baron pit. Jumped down a little bit too early. So this push here from Fnatic was really good because LeBlanc was top lane for once.
Yeah, and it's not running the teleport here. And one of the Misfits is that they get some damage, but they can't over-chase. And a really good cast from Soaz forces Alphari's flash as well. And then it's really easy for Fnatic to kite. If you're in a numbers advantage situation, kite becomes so much easier to play because there's not enough damage from the opponents to really catch you.
And we see in that replay, that's the exact situation we discussed earlier. Alphari forced face-to-face with the Kennen, no armor whatsoever, just gets ripped through. And not just any Kennen, Rekkles' Kennen. This man has been immaculate. Pretty much the only person, when he picks 80 Kennen, that we don't have a question.
Exactly, like not only did he play well on it, he actually made other teams in Europe look way worse because they tried to play 80 carry Kennen and they couldn't execute it. So really worked well for him, I feel like.
And this is a better example of Fnatic pushing mid and then moving towards Rekkles instead, helping him get that turret down. Another side lane turret here, trying to build up that Baron power play, you know, amassing the gold advantage so the Misfits eventually get outscaled.
And we see that Rumble ulti in the last fight from Alphari was actually really good. But when you can play against shields from Karma, Locket, Ivern, everything, actually a lot of that damage then gets nullified from Fnatic. No one actually drops low enough for then a potential Graves ulti to execute someone.
Yeah. Against this team comp, Misfits need really good target selection. They can't just AoE Zerg them down. They need to take one guy down at once, remove some of the benefit of these massive AoE shields, and highlight the fact that they can just take one guy at a time.
And it only gets harder too. Jesiz now with the redemption of his own, double redemption. A lot goes in, he's gonna Zanya's the style play escape, the Ryze special. PowerOfEvil continuing to try to start the fight, but it's just not gonna work.
See if we can get maybe a re-engage from Fnatic. They have Soaz with full HP, looking for a potential target. Flash is available.
Still 1 minute 30 on that Baron buff, and now they're going to do the same thing they did earlier, but they're going to switch it to the bottom side. Push the mid lane, have Rekkles push up that side lane, and then hopefully get tier 2 in the bottom lane.
And it all simply came down to that push on mid tower, where Misfits for once didn't actually push out the wave early, meet it early, so they didn't have wave clear ready. When PowerOfEvil was top lane, allowed Fnatic to get a push in, then a fight, and now they use that to get Baron buff, and all the outer turrets suddenly dropping. One play from Fnatic opened up the entire map.
And now at the 30-minute mark, 5 towers down to 3, a massive gold lead in favor of Fnatic. Just about 5K in their favor, exactly where they want to be with so many side lane threats, like the Kennen, like the Ryze. All of these options open and available now for Fnatic.
But always one of the problems with the split pushing comps is once you get to the base, once you get to the inhibs, it's really hard to kind of split push your way to victory, and you often have to rely on Baron buffs, a ban off command, or winning a fight to break all the way in.
Give me that banner, baby.
For now, it's about a single super minion poking away at the tower, but Soaz wants to keep the fight going. IgNar once again oversteps and will get taken down. Rekkles on a killing spree. Fnatic with their sights on that tier 2.
That's the kind of fight you're looking for if you're a Fnatic, to then get down another tower here. Poor IgNar, no flash, and it's easy for Soaz to just knock him back.
Yeah, honestly, great performance from Soaz early on. Good snowball goes in again.
Now Rekkles! Rekkles on the way in. Here comes the Realm Warp on the backside. Surprise! It's Caps, it's Daisy, and it's a death for Hansama. No! Looking to turn it back. Hansama pulling out, will make it out to safety, and Caps will be the one who drops, but Fnatic, they're still in the driver's seat.
Yeah, they're taking down his tower here. Soaz, he's so fit. 3 early kills, and we said this in Champ Select. Soaz on Gragas. It is so fun to watch because he's creative, he's good at engaging. He's been finding a lot of very well-timed body slams and then ultis in this game.
And there is one thing that has been a major shakeup for Fnatic in this pick with the Ivern. They've also channeled the pressure to the top lane. Fnatic was known for ganking bot lane over and over and over, so well that even when you knew it was coming, it would still punish you. And then they surprised their opponents here by switching it up and going for the top lane.
It's There's nothing you can do as IgNar once you get caught by that rune prison into the engage from Soaz. Fight is already won, and this is what Fnatic likes to do also with the Kennen. Just send him into the backline with his ulti and start the fight.
And it's honestly one of the weaknesses of a lot of teams that draft AD Kennen. They think it's so strong on lane. The really best way to set it up is having shield backups. Either you have a Shen that pops a W on top of him, or you just have a million shields with Ivern and Karma that keep Kennen alive as he ultis in. How often have we seen a Kennen ulti and do nothing and just get squashed?
Very often.
Just about every game.
But not
it
from
was
Rekkles. Not from Rekkles and Fnatic. Ivern first pick actually ended up working out really well for Fnatic in this game. Now, you can obviously debate, did they have to take it early? Could they grab something else? But they probably just wanted to see the first rotation from Misfits as well and see if they could counterpick in a way, like trying to bait out this LeBlanc early. Ryze was available for caps, and while he's been under pressure, he's actually been able to at least have an impact in these fights.
And a huge showing of confidence for PoE to blind pick the LeBlanc,
hello,
but it hasn't
Soaz.
worked out. Soaz, though, trying to start a fight. Hansama, no luxury to flash this time. He's going to drop to Rekkles. IgNar's moving forward. IgNar is in trouble.
Yeah, if you walk into a frozen mountain AD carry, you're not going to escape.
Got no chance, but PowerOfEvil. He looks to turn it back. Still exhausted, however, means no path out quite yet. Moving for more. Caps flashes forward. PowerOfEvil is in trouble. Down he goes. Ryze takes that one in the end, and Caps, he's hungry for more. Out comes the trigger seed. Shields him up. IgNar, the shield half powers him up, but it's not enough. It's the double kill for Caps, and Fnatic own the base.
KaKAO is trying to kill the wave here to stop Fnatic from actually finishing the game. It's gonna also succeed.
It'll succeed. They stall, so they get one inhibitor, but they're so far ahead right now, and it's almost too easy for Fnatic at this point.
I mean, it's such a fun TP here from Soaz. You know, comes in completely unexpected, and Hansama just gets caught out, dies instantly. KaKAO just buying time here. Trying to make sure we get at least another fight in this game.
Walking away. He'll
If
take
you
his
delay
time.
this, the more you delay this, the better it actually is for the game. Because if he dies super late, you can obviously get some Baron pressure if it spawns. It does spawn in 40 seconds.
Yeah, it's actually just wait another 10 seconds maybe. Then kill him.
Slowly, slowly, play with him.
Ah, down in the end, the slow but sure demise of KaKAO. And as you said, 40 seconds, 48 in fact, for KaKAO means that Fnatic will get the Baron setup, and we'll look at this one more time.
Seemingly out of nowhere, Hansama used this flash earlier to escape, and these ER combos, they have changed slightly. You need to throw out the R as you're Eing forward. You can't wait for the hit anymore. Obviously, it travels too slow as a projectile, which means you have to have even more confidence in your ability to connect your skill shots.
Always beautiful. Let's see
Checking
another fight.
online, they're trying to get under Rekkles, but there's too many shields. He's still alive, he's still up, he's still okay. Rekkles lives! He won't die! Down goes the LeBlanc. So many people dropping in the face of Rekkles, and that's the triple!
Fnatic, they have the Baron setup. They forced the Misfits to go for a Rekkles fight, because what will they do against the Baron setup 4v5? They couldn't do absolutely anything, and they win that fight, and it all gets worse when Rekkles drops to 5% and he still lives.
Slow and steady walk towards the Nexus. Everyone knows that Fnatic, they're going to push all the way in and win the game. Quite a walk, though.
Quite a walk, but one of confidence. Rekkles, everything focused on him, meant the Karma, meant the Ivern got to come online, keep him up and healthy. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We were looking for first blood in the series, and it's going to be Fnatic who make their mark on the opposition, and Misfits who fall down as Soaz has a bit of fun with it, and the game closes.
And I think this was in many ways like a very standard like game one, where it was a little bit slower than maybe expected because you're not always gambling everything. For the very first game, we saw nerfs from some people, PowerOfEvil missing chains, arrows going the wrong way.
I think that was a very crucial arrow, because if it hits,
Very
Misfits
crucial.
take complete control of the game. But my man for this game was still Broxah. With the Ivern, expanding that champion pool, getting, cheesed or outpathed early like KaKAO, and then bouncing back, snowballing Soaz, who then takes complete control of the game.
Yeah, I want to add Soaz to this conversation here.
It's my list, you can have your own list.
Okay, so on your list is Broxah. I'm going to put Soaz there so we can just add our list together. And then I think we have this top side of Fnatic that we did not expect to be the massive carries in a game like this here.